Hello and welcome. My name is Andrew. Welcome. You are witnessing right now start officially releasing the first World of Warcraft hedge fund. Oh baby. I just check a couple things. Looking good there. Let's check this thingy. Is it working? I see stuff's happening. Things are happening. All right. Please excuse the bit of introductory stuff, but hey, my name is Andrew. This is Darkshore Capital, and welcome to what's going to be episode 1 of my Let's Play style series titled World of Warcraft Hedge Fund, where I'm attempting to make 10 million gold, that's gold cap, using my friends' money. Yeah, that's what's happening. So, I guess just a bit of background, since this is sort of supposed to be an introductory, get to know you kind of episode. I currently play on the realm Area 52 and the NA servers Horde, and for whatever reason, I've been doing this for a few years now, and for whatever reason, all my friends decided Tichondrius would be the right server to go on to. So, you know, these days in World of Warcraft, being on separate servers doesn't really matter that much unless you're mythic raiding or trying to like trade items, which really doesn't affect gameplay all that much. But they're all on Tichondrius, and in an effort to try and, you know, help them out, support them, I started just doing what I do with the gold making over here. So we're going to actually go and jump on into this and take a look at what we're starting with, because it's not a ton, but it is something. So yeah, Tichondrius Hedge Fund, please excuse all the whatever PowerPoint stuff. This is just how we present things on the stream. If you're new here, you'll get used to it. Yeah, so the plan for how we're going to achieve the 10 million gold cap is we're going to start with the things I have listed here, and I don't know, just kind of figure it out as we go. So flipping BoE epics, that's something I've been doing a little bit of in the Shadowlands up until this point. Shadowlands consumables is another like high volume thing that's eligible for flipping. I've made a little bit of gold here and there with that. Actually, I want to check on that. Well, there you go. Speak of the devil. So just earlier today, I was kind of just browsing the auction house as you do, and found some Vantus Runes that were ripe for a reset. So let's actually go ahead and... Is it going to be in here still? No. Vantus. Just take a look at these, because I invested what I would say is a sizable chunk of money, about 100k. As you can see, we've only got approximately 300k in the hedge fund currently. What am I looking for? Shadowlands, consumables, useful. So, yeah, ripe for a flipping. And it looks like... Things are not looking too great. We got undercut a little bit here. Let's actually just go ahead and do a cancel, because, you know, that's what we're doing. We're here, we're out to make gold. We're just jumping right into it. I'm still in the middle of like explaining what the heck's going on, but hey, you know, we move at the speed of money here, so bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, so let me get these posted up. Let's just do 12 hours because we're going to be babysitting these. Yeah, so you can see here on the TSM purchase stuff, I purchased them for about 700 gold. That was a bit underpriced for what I thought they were worth. They're going for about 850, so that's a pretty decent flip on the Vantus Runes. Hopefully, I know the TSM ledger's been a little finicky as of late. As you can see, it's not even showing up here. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. Maybe somebody knows how to get the resale stuff to actually work. I'm a little annoyed by that, to be honest. So time frame, well, it's not even showing up here actually, so that's interesting. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe if I reload it or something. We're not going to worry about it right now. Anyway, yeah, so other things we're going to be looking at, like Shadowlands herbs, kind of falls in the same category as consumables, just high volume stuff that's current, people are using them. So if you see something underpriced, just buy it, flip it. It'll likely make you a profit. Investing in undervalued long-term assets. So that actually is something I would love to get into right now. And it's actually something that if you are a longtime viewer of or listener of the weekly gold making presentation, This Week in Gold Making, check it out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get a podcast, you will know that I've been talking or hinting at potentially how to use the Undermine Journal. And we're just going to get into it because this is actually a pretty decent way to kind of turn your short-term profits into like long-term gains if you're not too concerned with making money right away. So here we go. Undermine Journal. As you probably saw, you can select your region. Let's actually just show that too. So you can go to the region. We're in the Americas. We're on Tichondrius. So you find your server in that big old list. You use Control F, whatever. And then over here on the right, actually the first thing is a little link called Deals. And this is just a big list of things that you might be interested in taking a look at on your server. I think these are compiled maybe every hour or so. And there's a handy dandy little feature over here called TSM. You just go in here, you copy this string of characters, go back to your game. This is a competitor of mine, I recognize that name. And pop it into the browse search thingy. And it'll just do a little item search for all these items. And as you can see, yeah, some of these are undervalued according to the market value on Trade Skill Master. So, you don't want to just be going and buying all these things up automatically because, you got to kind of filter through and parse and see if it's actually something worthwhile. These trinkets are actually kind of catching my interest. So the reason is the character that I'm leveling to kind of support this 10 million gold hedge fund endeavor. I was looking to hey, are there any cheap pieces of gear that I could get? And this actually seems pretty solid. So for 1,000 gold right now, it says market value is 12k. Sale rate is 0.03. That's pretty decent for something like this. I mean, if we can sell this thing for 10k, that's huge profit. I'm actually just going to go and do this. 1,000 gold is not a whole lot to invest in, and usually I kind of say to steer away from things that don't have a cosmetic purpose, like you don't see trinkets on your character. But again, I'm definitely biased because I was literally looking at pieces of gear like this to buy recently. This could actually probably sell because this would be a decent trinket to actually use on a character that you're leveling up. Just versatility is great, and then it's a decent proc, increase your haste if you're playing a character that cares about that. All right, let's keep moving. So, dodge. You don't see dodge on gear very often. That's kind of cool. I'm not really looking to clog my bags up with things that are only worth 5k at most, so we're just going to pass on that. Sash of Mercy. Again, this probably isn't really worth our time. It looks like it's different eye levels always. It makes me cringe a little bit. We're just going to pass up on these guys. Keep showing up. Should really probably take this this dress off so we can actually see things. Because yeah, inspecting and see what they look like, that does matter when you're considering buying things like this. Again, these are long-term investments that you're looking to make some gold over the long term with. So again, 2k historical price, just probably not even worth it. Yeah, so at this point, pretty much dried up on these possibilities. So let's go ahead and go on to the next. So this next category, I'll just do it so you can see. It usually bugs out a little bit, which is kind of weird, and because you can see they're flying by here, but something about the items IDs here is off, and I think that's mostly because the items in this category tend to be Battle for Azeroth items, and just something about them is I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it or tried to debug it. It's probably got something to do with the suffixes, but there are things in here that could potentially be worth gold. I think I have actually made some gold doing this, purchasing these guys and trying to flip them. It's it's a bit risky, and they're kind of all over the place. As you can see, the eye level is super wonky. This stuff is just weird. So I don't know. I would take it with a grain of salt. But sometimes if you get one that's really cool looking, it can be worth it. You gotta the downside though, you gotta be copying and pasting these to to find them, and of course you gotta delete the trailing bracket. Again, make sure you look at them to make sure it's something that's actually interesting. Yeah, and then like this guy's putting this thing up for gold cap. Like, man, there's some weird stuff going on. Like, okay, the speed on there actually that could potentially be useful to somebody. So this enterprising young individual is thinking that they might be pulling something off. We're not going to go through all these right now, but it's something that you can do. I don't know. I don't love it. You could make some money on it. It's up to you. I'm not going to bother with it right now. Sometimes, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll go through each and every one of those and find something worthwhile. So this next thing is you got to be careful with crafted armored weapons. Because they're crafted, usually means they're pretty easy to make or reproduce. But sometimes you get lucky. So Bloodvine, this is actually where some institutional knowledge comes into play. So I know for a fact the Bloodvine set is a bit tricky to craft. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I think we're going to snatch this one up, right? So market value 72,000 is posted for 8,600. There's only one up there right now. And sell rate's 0.02. I have sold Bloodvine gear in the past. We're going to do it. And then that's the wrong one. Head. We're just going to go look this thing up so that we can see what I'm talking about. Bloodvine boots. So the reason, what I'm getting at here is the materials used. Okay, so I was a little bit wrong. I thought these were going to have the Wildvine reagent as part of their crafting cost, which is something kind of difficult to get. It's just one of those materials from vanilla that's not super abundant. But Mooncloth still, that's not nothing. Realistically, these should really not be worth 70,000 gold. The materials here it's not hard to get Mooncloth. Like, you just get some fellcloth, you go to a moon well and you craft it, and then ironweb, spider silk, like, stuff's got to be super cheap. Or if you really need some, go do some lures runs and get it. But nonetheless, here we are. We've got some Bloodvine set. I guess, I don't know, are we going to go for the whole set now? I guess we might as well, right? Somebody's just posting these at super reduced price. I might micromanage this because I don't really want to post mine at 6 digits here. The market price is 35. We're going to go with that. And in fact, before we get any further along, let's just get these guys and start posting them up. So, like I said, we're going to first off take a look at the pants. I'm just going to post these for, what did I say, 35? Sure. And this is a bit manual right now. If they don't sell in the first couple times, we probably will go for a more automated approach. I'm actually going to just go ahead and run the post scan on these two guys, because these two are going to fall right about where I want them to. The Bloodvine boots, yeah, that's a bit high. That's just because it's posting at the normal price. My normal price currently configured is, I think, doing a little bit of a markup. Yeah, so we're just going to go and post these. We'll do 70. Make it nice and round, so hopefully that attracts some people. Let's continue on. I didn't see anything else in that list that I was terribly interested in. Again, I've been doing this a little bit, so I kind of have a sense of what to look for, what's worthwhile and what's not. As you can see there, some of them went by as well. Huh. Is this a crafted one still? No, these are, armor and weapons with bonuses. That's just kind of weird. You know when I do this one, this is just junk. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some stuff to be made, some money to be made here, but like, I don't know. I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. Recipes, though, definitely worth looking at. The uncommon ones more so than the common. I don't think every single recipe in this common list is a vendor recipe, nor is every recipe in the uncommon one not a vendor one, but I think in general that's how it works. Like, I know some of these guys are not actually as valuable as they seem. Ooh, that one is, though. That's for sure. Actually, I want to take a look at that. Yeah, Smooth Dawnstone. Again, like, who cares about a +2 crit gem? It's really just for people who are completionists and looking to get all the patterns. And I don't know. I don't think there's that many people doing that. Again, none of these are really jumping out at me as being worthwhile, so we're going to move on. Again, I do want to take a look at that accurate scope pattern, because that is something, I believe it's an unobtainable recipe at this point. In fact, I think if we look at this, another pro tip, yeah, you can click on these guys to go to the Wowhead page, or I guess you have to go see this page, and then you click on this, and it takes you to the Wowhead page. Yep, there you go. No longer available or removed. I either used to or still have one of these on Proudmoore Alliance side. If anybody wants one, by the way, let me know. Yeah, there you go. Not something I want to spend 65k on, because I know from personal experience these either don't sell or take a long time to sell. But just kind of something interesting. So black whelp to me. Yeah, none of these are really things I want to waste my time with. So we're gonna netherweave bandages. Yeah, I'm sure this is probably just taken out of the game as well. Only reason it would be that valuable. And then the last thing that's really worth looking at is the companion deals, in my experience. I mean, you're obviously more than welcome to take a look at some of these things, but like Dark Moon cards, man, those things just don't bother with them. I've tried, it's just not worth it. Another kind of cool thing with the battle pets, which I'm sure many of you know about, is you can use them cross server. So that can be a great way to transfer gold across realms, and you can even make gold by buying cheap on one server and selling not cheap on another server. None of these are super jumping out at me. Like this 20k at 50%, like that's pretty good. But again, I'm not really in the, and there's only 2 of them. Dunmoro Cub. Yeah, 0.01 sell rate. I'm going to pass on it for now. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the pet battle stuff at the moment, and I don't know. I've done that song and dance before, and I don't want to. Not right now. All right, so next thing I like to look at is the BoEs, right? So this is a list of all the current raid armor BoEs in BFA. As I talked about in the Goldmaking podcast on Monday, there's sort of 2 different categories for these, and you want to just be careful because it's it's important information to know about. The 190s, the 207s, and I think that's it. Yeah, the 190s and the 207s are dropped out in the world, I believe, and they only come in those particular item levels. And you see this like 39% over here, and you think, oh wow, that's probably a really good deal. But then you expand this out, and oh, they're all 22,000. And the reason this one is because it's got speed on it, and like realistically, no one's gonna pay a premium for speed 190 gear. Like that's just not gonna happen at this point in the game. I do think the lower ones are worth checking out still, because sometimes you'll catch one that's like undervalued, or someone just posted it wrong for some reason. Yeah, again, all these are not very interesting. Okay, so the first one we're actually going to look at is the cloak, which it falls in the category of everyone being able to use it, along with it having 4 different item levels. So the 187, the LFR version, no real opportunities to make any gold here. The 200s, there's only 1. So that might seem tempting to want to try to buy this out and bump up the price of it, but the highest you can go is like 35, 38, 39, I guess, because you're not going to be able to buy this out at 300 and go up to 35 and have anyone buy it, because they'll just buy the 213 version and get more item level for their money. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm trying to say. So you'd have to buy out like both of these and then like push them up a bit. I don't know. It's just not worth the gold. And then lastly, let's look at the 226. So yeah, there's a ton of 226s at below market price. So the price is just going down is what's happening there. This might be useful for when we get our character maxed out, though. Just get some cheap 226 eye level boosted up. But again, more on that later. So then once you look at that, go back to sort by market value. Yeah, not too hot on these mail bracers. Like there is a decent chance here at making some gold. Where was it? I was looking earlier, these 200s, you could make like 5k each potentially, but again, mail gear, I try not to like deal too much in it unless it's a really good deal, just because there's only 2 classes that use mail. Shamans aren't like super meta right now. I guess they kind of are, like healing shamans are pretty decent. Hunters are sort of falling out of favor. I don't know. I try not to deal with mail unless it's like a really, really good deal. These plates, oh, this is more mail actually. I'm just gonna ignore it. Leather is great. 4 classes use leather. Many of them are very popular at the moment. No 200s. That's interesting to note. Not really much we can do about it because we don't have any, but what's this guy doing? Trying to cheese some extra value. And that's probably about the limit of what we might be able to find. Again, in order to actually make profit doing this, you got to do this frequently to find the deals. 200s on the cloth gloves either, interesting enough. These are very desirable. Crit haste are very good stats for cloth, for many cloth wearers, cloth wearing specs. All right, then you can look at the weapons too. I haven't really bothered too much with it because again, these are all like static eye levels, so there's not a whole lot of like volatility when it comes to them. Like okay, yeah, sure, there's an indestructible on these warglaives. Whoop-de frickin' do. Nobody cares about indestructible at this point. You're not gonna get a premium for that. Yep, that's about the summary of the weapons at the moment. Okay, so again, the Vantus Runes that I purchased, looks like we relisted them. Vantus Runes today. Did I go up in the recent search? Just check on them again real quick. Yeah, we're getting undercut, man. Getting undercut. Since we're here, we're gonna do it. We're gonna fight for it. Let's go ahead and just get our gold from that too, so we can get a nice total for where we're actually at. And then we'll take a look at what we're working with here. I know that's sort of what I was supposed to do in the first place, but hey, we got distracted. All right, so currently just under 300,000 gold in the hedge fund. There's some other gold scattered across a couple of the characters. Again, this is all money that I acquired from my friends. So we started with approximately, I think I wrote it down here, 170,000 gold. Where is it? Yeah, 175,000 is roughly how much was initially invested. So we're doing all right here. Not quite doubled in the liquid gold. Although, well, before I made that big Vantus Rune purchase, it was more than doubled. Currently, we've got 800,000 gold worth of auctions posted. That's probably a bit high because again, a lot of these long-term things like patterns and BOEs and things, those take a while to sell. So I can update this, man. Our inventory's gone up quite a bit since I first wrote this down on Monday, I believe. Okay. Oh yeah, legendary bases. Let's just talk briefly about that before we get on to the character that I'm leveling. You might have noticed some Grim-Veiled hoods here. I think that this is a pretty decent place to make some gold as well. Again, there's a lot of variation in the legendary base items. Not only do you have the different armor types, cloth, leather, mail, and plate, you also have legendaries for just about every single item slot. And then across all of those, you have 4 different item level categories. Okay. Technically, there's also like the 170 gear, but like that's a fluke. That doesn't count. Oh yeah, these 175s, like those are not supposed to exist, and for some reason they do. I think there was a bug or something. So, yeah, it's interesting, right? So, like these Shadowghast helms, right? We're gonna wait for this giant search to finish going, but this actually might be something worth buying out. I don't know. Again, this is probably something that's just gonna have to come over time, is learning like which slots are good for which armor types. But 2,000 market value is over 4K. Like that looks like a pretty good deal to me. We're definitely gonna be taking a look at that once this finishes searching. Again, this is an enormous search, and man, I'm really surprised these hoods are so cheap. Like I know for a fact that Discipline Priest likes to have hood or head slot for their legendary, at least for dungeons. Raid is a different story with the powers. I only know this because Disc Priest is one of the classes that I'm sort of maining this expansion. But yeah, let's take a look. See what we're working with here. So we're gonna go and sort by item level first, I guess. Yeah, okay. These are just somebody trying to get a quick sale. So we're gonna go and buy these out. That's a no-brainer. Be careful. I've gotten screwed over a couple times recently with TSM not telling me what I think it's telling me. And then more 225. Yeah, this Cyber XD person is just looking for some quick sales. That's fine. We will provide a valuable service in liquidity by buying their cheap goods and relisting them for a higher price. We won't get too much into the details on exactly what I mean by that at the moment, but I have written about it in the past. I don't think I ever posted or published that, but it's kind of an interesting idea. All right, so the Shadowgast Helm. This is a little bit less attractive. I know the 45, the blue, always looks so juicy, but like, yeah, that's a lot of things I'd have to buy up, and I'm not really looking to do it. This 210 though, that's interesting, because yeah, okay, that one we will buy. Looks like that might have caused a bit of a cascade in issues there. Now, a bit of a possible concern, if the price of the 190s is going down so hard, like, then the 110's probably soon to follow, just because of the way legendaries work. But that's one item I'm willing to take a chance and see what happens. Again, yeah, that's the same thing we're just looking at. Bracers, yeah, not loving the look of that. That's a bit too many items. Actually brings up something I wanted to talk about in this first episode, which is I don't want to have too many items in this character's inventory. It's something that I've been getting a little more concerned about as my WoW career goes on, but like, man, when you gotta go back to the mailbox 2, 3, 4 times to like repost your auctions, it's just such a drag, man. Like, some of those items in there are probably just not worth having. So in an effort to kind of like keep things tidy and tight, I'm going to try to like not keep more than whatever 148 items, I guess is how many bag slots I have at any given time, because it's just not worth my time to be going back and forth to the mailbox over and over again. And I realize that kind of limits my possibilities when it comes to things like, flipping consumables. Those Vantus Runes, as you probably noticed, took about like almost 8 slots in my bag. So that's something to be concerned about and something to think about. But yeah, just a quick little aside there before we get moving on. All right, so let's just check this out. Okay, so next part of the plan, actually really should have one more thing in here, which is other gold making opportunities. And this is actually something I discussed a little bit more at length in the podcast presentation, This Week in Gold Making presentation, whatever you want to call it, is how do you know like what's good right now in gold making? Like, what's the gold making meta? So I've been sort of out of gold making for a few months, and I don't really know what's going on. What's good? Well, like, what's the current thing people are doing? Obviously, like the legendaries are something that we were just looking at. So yeah, I'm just trying to learn a bunch of stuff there. So that's going to be part of this series, is trying to figure out like what's worth doing. What are the things I shouldn't be missing out on? And my instinct is that having a max level character is going to be essential when it comes to taking advantage of these opportunities I'm unaware of. So with that, let's actually go ahead and swap on over. What is this? Oh, we should, getting ahead of myself, we just bought a bunch of items. We should get them posted up. Let's do that before we move on. Let's see how the operation does. Yep, that looks about right. How much would we buy this for? Yep. All looks good. These eggs are a good example of something I was just talking about, where I'm probably going to get rid of them eventually because they're just not selling for the prices that I want them to be selling at. Okay, so I decided to make a warrior for the character that I want to use in the server for no reason other than I just kind of have really been digging warriors recently and kind of want to have one at max level, and just like playing arms, man. I tell you, it's very satisfying spec to play. So what did I do to prepare for leveling? We got the heirlooms all squared away: chest enchant, neck enchant, ring enchant, weapon enchant, cloak enchant. Pro tip, don't put the Shadowlands enchants on your heirloom gear. Turns out you have to have level 50 in order for those to be active. So there you go, learned my lesson there, and it's just really not worth fixing at this point. I got my UI, I got my keybinds done, I got some bags and cash sent over, did the WoD intro quest, and started doing quests in WoD. We're just using the Azeroth autopilot to get most of those completed. So one thing that I've sort of been going back and forth on how I want to handle when it comes to this series as a whole, I have it billed as a Let's Play series, which if you have watched any of those on YouTube for other games, you'll know that typically it involves some cutting and editing on the part of the person doing the series. so that it's not just this big, long, drawn-out thing. Keeping it to like a nice, tight 20-30 minutes, I think, is really what makes a good Let's Play series. Obviously, this is a live stream. It's being recorded as a live stream if you're watching it later. Obviously, it's on YouTube now, but I don't know, because like when I first had this idea, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna start leveling the warrior off camera so that we can start doing actual gold making stuff with it. But then I've got a lot of ideas going on in my head to sum up, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to all work going forward, other than the fact that like we're going to do it. There's going to be some regular live streams, and there's going to be regular content coming out. So hopefully you all bear with me on the journey, and we'll figure it out. But for today, in the remaining, oh gosh, we've been going at this 30 minutes already. That's longer than I anticipated. So yeah, for the next 15-20 minutes or so, which is about the time I've budgeted for this live stream, we're just gonna keep with the leveling. Maybe talk about some gold making strategies while leveling, what I'm gonna do with this character eventually, professions, gold making opportunities, and the like. Yeah, so there we go. We'll be into it here in just a second. A little swig of water there while we go. Oh, interesting. I wonder. Huh. I guess the music probably cuts out when I'll tab out of the game. Huh. That's funny. Cool. Yeah. So, like I said, I chose Warrior just because it's what I want to play, not for any particular gold making purpose. Was doing some reflecting on that earlier today. Uh-oh, that's not good. And thinking about how like druids are typically the gold makers class of choice, which that makes sense because there's all kinds of druids have just historically been good for gold making because gathering things and such. But yeah, I don't really care too much about being hyper efficient with this, especially when it comes to farming things. That's really hopefully not what this character will be for. Never really been one to do much farming. We might try out some stuff here and there just for the fun of it. And as you'll notice on the mini-map up there are some nodes popping up. I have been taking herbalism and mining on my characters that I'm leveling up that don't have professions that I care terribly much for. This character, of course, being a fresh character, so no professions at all. Mostly for the experience boost, right? Like you're running around doing quests and stuff, and bada bing, bada boom, there's a node, there's a flower, you get a little bit of extra experience from doing that. So, why not just take it? It's good. It's good stuff. Let me just start hitting some stuff while we figure out tab. Okay. Where's this quest that it wants me to grab? Oh, it's right here. Literally right on top of me. Cool. I'm actually going to turn the sound down a bit because it is very loud in my ears and can't really think with it that loud. Hopefully you can still hear enough of it to be interesting. Oh, I must have gotten the Deep Wounds talent recently. Not talent, ability, I guess. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm not super big on farming, running around doing like really grindy gold making methods. So yeah, this character is probably going to be focused on crafting once it becomes relevant. AKA we get to the Shadowlands and we can learn the Shadowlands crafting stuff. But yeah, until then we'll just pick some stuff up as we go. One other possibility, and I don't know if this character will really wind up doing much of it, is like gold boosting, which kind of that sounds like kind of a, I don't know, scary, sketchy, potentially iffy thing to do. But no, it's fine. As long as you're following the rules that Blizzard has laid out, which are somewhat arbitrary, you can, run people through like Mythic Pluses or raids for gold. And as I kind of alluded to earlier, I do have a couple characters that I've been running, 15-ish keys on a different server. So that will actually pose an interesting challenge, but I think we could definitely potentially use that to make gold as well. Like I said, all my people I'm playing with right now are on Area 52, or sorry, on Tichondrius. So we can work out something where we accept the gold on Tichondrius, get our buyer on Tichondrius, and then I, just funnel the gold on there. But then, run it with my characters that are properly geared. Maybe it'll be an interesting experiment to see how quickly we can get this character geared up once it reaches max level. It's actually really not too bad. The second character I have and have been running with, we got that character geared up pretty quickly. I would say within a couple weeks of just doing stuff, various content and things. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then I'm definitely looking forward to playing a warrior. I don't know. The spec is just so satisfying to play. I was very close to making warrior one of my characters at the end of BFA as well, but the rogue won out. I don't know, it just happened. Anyway, not to get too much off on a tangent about my character preferences. Yeah, I don't know, what else are we going to talk about? Yeah, gold making with this character. So again, the not strong need to have like optimized farming stuff was another reason that I just chose not to bother with it and played what I wanted. I wanted a warrior, so we're going to play a warrior. What else? Crafting. Yeah, so crafting professions. If you've played any of like endgame content in Shadowlands at all yet, you will know that engineering is pretty much required. It's not required, but like if you're not an engineer and you're doing endgame content, like what are you doing? Like you need to kind of get with the program a little bit. It provides battle res. It provides a teleporter in the form of the wormhole generator that's probably like one of the best wormhole generators we've ever had in an expansion. It's just so much nicer. It lets you teleport around all different zones. Some of the points it teleports you to are kind of useless. Like the Revendreth one kind of sucks, and oh man, the Bastion one is even worse. But like the Ouroboros teleport alone is worth it. So you should probably be an engineer for those reasons. And then like there's ways to make gold with engineering. Like it's not a dead profession when it comes to crafting. You've got all kinds of mounts from previous expansions you can craft. I'm actually kind of thinking maybe we'll look into farming the Mecha Mogul, the mount that you can get by crafting using things dropped from, blanking on the dungeon's name, the Motherlode from last expansion in BFA. I think that'll be kind of cool because, since we're higher level now, we'll have, should be able to just solo that dungeon just fine, even without stealth. Plus, I think you need to actually kill trash to get all the pieces that you need. And actually getting the recipe might be the trickiest part. So that's something I kind of got in the back of my head. Because I'm already thinking like this character is going to be an engineer when we get to level 50. Well, maybe 60. Because it's just like, why wouldn't you be? The only other profession that's like has a PvE power benefit is alchemy. And that's really just for flask duration. Not something that's terribly important, since flasks aren't prohibitively expensive, and we can just buy them if we need them. I'm probably not going to be chaining too many Mythic Pluses on this character, so I'm just not going to bother with it. Now, alchemy could be worthwhile as a crafting profession. Flasks and potions are obviously important, and someone needs to craft them and sell them. So yeah, we might look into that as one of our crafting professions. I'm also kind of feeling maybe some blacksmithing in order to get in on / learn how all of the legendary crafting works. It's something that, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge when it comes to what's good in gold making right now. So just going through it and trying to figure it out by doing it. That's a great way to learn. So yeah, blacksmithing is definitely on the horizon. Thinking about it in the back of my mind as something maybe to do. And yeah, we can, if we're doing blacksmithing or another crafting profession, blacksmithing gives us characters to play where it doesn't necessarily have to be that. We can look at gathering some old recipes too, and making, adding to our kind of long-term transmog gold makers in that way as well. That's something that I've had a lot of success over on the Proudmoore server Alliance side by doing. Though I will say, points potentially against that method, it does take a lot of time. I probably have 3 or 4 inventories worth of items to repost when I'm doing it on that server, and man, it's tedious. And that's, it's fine to like have something else to do while you're doing that, to like watch a video in the back, or if you have 2 accounts, that's a great way to maximize that time. But as soon as you like don't have like some off time to do it and you got to just sit there and do it, like, man, it just sucks. It just sucks. It's a lot of time wasted. So I don't know how keen I'm going to be on like mass crafting. We might kind of target some of the more valuable recipes or some of the higher sell rates. TSM has that great feature now. We probably won't be able to see it on either of these professions since the sell rate kind of shows up over here. Oh, look at that. Smelt Copper has it. Yeah, 0.08 on on copper, apparently. So yeah, we can use that to our advantage to try and maximize the crafts that we're actually going to do with blacksmithing, and just be a little more cognizant of what exactly we're doing. Not wasting time reposting things. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking with this character. Did we turn war mode on? Did not turn war mode on. Keep forgetting to do that. Oh well. It's been pretty quick. Slash plate on this character is 3 hours, 6 minutes. Obviously, Nightborne start level 10, so that's 14 levels in that amount of time. Nightborne because, again, I really miss the Night Elf model. Never thought I'd actually care too much about what faction I was, but man, yeah, we were playing Alliance at the end of BFA, and I wound up I was playing a Druid and a Rogue. Druids, well, okay, you don't have to be a Night Elf anymore, but I was playing a Night Elf Druid just because I made that character when you had to be a Night Elf. And yeah, the Rogue, I actually race swapped to Night Elf because of how powerful it was in PvP and PvE, honestly. Like, Shadow Meld in Mythic Plus, just as a quick aside, like, the stuff you can do with Shadow Meld is crazy. Like, I didn't even realize it, but like, there was a boss in Dazar Lore, or is it Dazar Lore? Atal Dazar, one of the dungeons from BFA. It's giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. One of his mechanics is he targets somebody, runs over and eats them, and like chomps on them for a little while. You take a ton of damage. If you use Shadow Meld while that ability is being cast, you don't even have to be the target, but if you just use that ability while Shadow Meld is being cast, it would just cancel it. Like, clearly a bug, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense, but they never fixed it, and it was obviously fine to use, so like, there you go. Shadow Meld's pretty good. And then just as a rogue, again, being able to get another free stealth, like a second vanish was huge, because you just get a bunch of damage from going into stealth as assassination, which is what I was at the time. Anyway, that's why we have the Nightborne Warrior, because I missed the Night Elf model. Actually found myself missing it quite a bit. And yeah, it's just good stuff. We're probably going to go Night Fae on this character. Again, not because it's the best ability, but because it's the one I want to try out. Can actually credit Bajira, the famous warrior, for that. He was initially Night Fae at the beginning of Shadowlands, and I watched some of his streams, and watching that ability that they get, it's like the shockwave thingy that just kind of like, this looks very satisfying to use, so I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It's good. I just like having fun playing a warrior. And hopefully we'll make some gold with it too. Again, a nice side effect of taking the dual gathering professions as you're leveling up, in addition to the experience you get, you get some money. This is not huge, but, this is... okay. 12 gold for the 6 frostweed that I've gathered so far is not terribly impressive. But it's also 10 gold that I wouldn't have had otherwise, so... yeah, not really a good reason to do it. The real reason, again, is the experience, the extra experience, but I guess you can get some gold from it too. Actually, that does remind me, one other thought I had, since we're doing WoD, since it's just the most efficient leveling process, or leveling timeline, I guess, the Chromie timeline to go through. Garrison stuff. Obviously we don't have the gold making mission or the gold missions anymore, but there still are lots of gold making opportunities with the Garrison, and having the various WAD materials, I believe is important to enable all that. Like sumptuous fur, right? Like making bags less so these days because the bags that have been added in expansion since definitely outclass the hexweave bags. Although apparently those still sell, like weirdly enough. People just don't, are just trained to think that hexweave bags are the way to go and just think that's what they use. I don't know. I remember that being like a topic on a gold making podcast not too long ago. Anyway, so yeah, we might explore some Garrison stuff too. So having some materials to kind of get that started will be nice. So I gotta kill these guys. We'll kill these guys. Man, I don't know. Arm's just so satisfying. Just running around slamming things. The rage mechanics feels like they really got the rage right now. I really never played a warrior until I guess it was Legion. I had an alt warrior that I took fairly seriously during the Nighthold, and I don't know, class felt really smooth back then. Back when you had the Draught of Souls trinket, which was probably one of the coolest trinkets that I've ever used. Like, man, that thing was... that was the best. You used it in for like 3 seconds, you just went super angry mode and just slammed the ground for a ton of damage. Oh. I have a good friend who has been a warrior for his entire retail career, and he, every once in a while I like to remind him about the Draught of Souls and how great it was back then. We get very happy about it. I'm really sad that they kind of nerfed the WAD Garrison leveling method. I don't know if any of you were aware of Sharkin 808. Probably you're familiar with the name if you've been making gold for a number of years. Turned me onto it at the end of WAD. Basically, when Chromie Time was introduced, and originally you could, get a character's Garrison unlocked, and then open up the mine, and just gather ore from the mine every day in the Garrison, and it would give you experience, which was like super cool because you could like just park a character in your Garrison and every day just go do that, and slowly but surely level it up just by doing that. That was great. I loved that. Then they got rid of it, and I was so sad because like it was great. It was a nice, easy way to just get a bunch of characters up slowly but surely. I don't know why they felt the need to get rid of that. It was fine. Anyway, so I did that on 4 characters at least, and so I've done this particular questline a few times because actually turns out you don't need to do this part. I thought you did, but this character already has level 2 Garrison. Anyway, we're getting really off topic. Garrisons, gold making, trading posts. I guess you can sort of see a trading post is definitely an opportunity to make some gold. I think the barn as well is something we can look at making use of. Because I believe the bloods that you can get from the barn are still worth something. I think they're used for transmog or... I'm trying to think off the top of my head if I know of any other things they're useful for. Nothing's coming to mind. The other thing's great about engineering, of course, is all the quality of life stuff. Extra mailbox. Not that this character has any need of more mailboxes. I, of course, as a Nightborne, have the racial ability on a 10-minute cooldown, and then I recently got the Katie's Stamp Whistle mailbox toy. So eventually this character is going to have 3 mailboxes, and that just makes me really happy because, like, of course it's going to have 3 mailboxes. Why not? And of course, we gotta get on the Brutosaur to go with the mailboxes too. Cool. So I'm thinking what we'll do is finish up this quest line, get back to a rested area because we want to make sure we're maximizing our rested experience. Got the 6. I think it's only 6 pieces you need for the 2 rested experience consumption reduction. Set bonus. Gotta maximize that. And then yeah, something's slowing me down. That's annoying. Yeah, we haven't learned any new abilities yet. Yeah, so we'll get this quest line finished up. I think it's like 3 or 4 more quests. Get back to home base and wrap it up for this week. Again, definitely still working out exactly how the format on the Let's Play series is going to be. I would love to get things done a little bit more professionally edited and such, because I'm a big fan of Let's Play series that can that are like just really tightly edited and really interesting for the whole time. And I know that watching a 40-50 minute live stream is not necessarily the best for that. So I'm aware of it, and we're going to be working on it. Time is definitely a constraining factor that I am also working with. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm gonna have fun with it. This is honestly giving me a bit more of an invigoration when it comes to this game at the moment. I was just discussing with one of my buddies who I've been doing Mythic Plus and stuff with, and he was saying that he's gonna probably start leveling a classic character in preparation for TBC Classic, and also just because like the pug life in retail is really getting him down, and like I feel that on a big level because yeah, if any of you guys have ever like tried to pug Mythic Plus in retail, it's kind of rough. It can be kind of rough. I've had kind of a mixed bag of experiences. I had a couple pugs that I did last week on my priest. Still trying to work on Keystone Master. And actually both of those groups were solid groups, and I was honestly the weakest link in both of them because, yeah. I don't want to get too much into details about it, but there is video evidence of it on another YouTube channel somewhere. Yeah, died like 3 times on one boss. It was not a good take. But I digress. Hopefully we won't be doing anything that egregious on this character. Yeah, I don't know how serious we'll do Mythic Plus with this guy. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing the Warrior. Man, I think that's all the topics I wanted to discuss. I guess we just got to get through the last bits of this quest. I have theorized in the past about doing either Wrath, BC, Kata, some of the other different expansions, leveling up to potentially get access to elemental things. And in practice, that really hasn't really turned out too much because like those things are just kind of rare to begin with. What's up, Rotab? Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Hope you have a good night. Yeah, we're back. We're doing starting off this. I don't even know what to call this. Calling this like the kickoff for the Let's Play series that I'm going to start doing, where it's the first World of Warcraft hedge fund, as you probably read in the title. Bit silly, bit tongue-in-cheek. I have seen no evidence of anyone else doing a hedge fund in World of Warcraft, so I'm going to go ahead and claim that I'm the first one to do it, and you can't convince me otherwise. So I don't know if there's any more artifacts down here, but we're going to just go down here and do it anyway. We might just skip this quest because it's actually not required. Yeah, so I think the best way to make money while leveling is to just get it over with quick and get on to bigger and better things. That's kind of what my instinct is. After having like played around with it a little bit, like going through PC and Kata and stuff, like you just don't get that many motes or volatiles or anything. It's just that was the theory. It might be worth it. It's not. Just do WAD, get it over with. Get the Gathering Professions if you want a little bit extra cash. How much is this? Oh, yo, somebody reset the Blackrock Horror on Tichondrius. By the way, if anybody wants to get in on that action. That's goofy. Maybe we'll try to sell it at the expensive price. Why not, right? Like, that's what gold making is all about, is taking advantage of things that you notice. There's no hard and fast rules. Be creative. Think on your feet. It's all very important stuff. Kill this thing. Alright, whatever. Oh, execute it. Yeah, get that big execute sweeping strikes damage. Woo! Some pro warrior gameplay right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, obviously these while you're leveling up and stuff, none of this stuff really matters. Something I do think is cool about quest design in modern WoW is these quest mobs that actually have like raid mechanics. When I first experienced that in MoP, I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Glad they're doing that. Oh yeah, more artifacts. Again, I don't know if there's any more down here. Yeah. Ah, he died before I could charge to him. So sad. I guess we'll just go up. It's gonna be Garrison Hearthstone anyway. Yeah, we're just gonna skip that and where does it want me to go? Pretty sure it wants me to go back there. So we're just gonna go do it. Yeah. Sure hope I turned in the quest. I'll have to run back there, that would suck. Oh man. Yep, so love to hear any feedback, comments, questions, suggestions on what to do with the series. Again, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of excitement around this. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to making my first gold cap, because that's, you know, something that we're just gonna AP skip this too. Something I have needed to have done for a long time. Yeah, just haven't ever done it, so we're gonna do it, or at least try. Cool. Grab some Garrison resources, and we're gonna go and get this bad boy wrapped up. So again, my name is Andrew, and yeah, the Let's Play series. We're doing it. It's happening. Gonna give it a shot, see what happens. Just to wrap up, I guess, summarize what the current plan is. We're going to flip BOEs, look at Shadowlands stuff that's high volume, try to do some flipping in that. Invest in some long-term transmog style stuff that's hopefully going to turn us huge profits in the long run. Legendary base items, that kind of falls under the Shadowlands high volume stuff as well. Maybe actually look at crafting some with the character that we're leveling up. Always keep our eye out for new and interesting gold making opportunities because, of course, those that adapt will overcome. And then, yeah, leveling the warrior to get a character max level, give us more access to more stuff to do. Always going to be a worthwhile pursuit in my mind. Even if it's just doing callings, like, that's a pretty decent chunk of gold for the time invested. And, you know, be able to pick up some gear that way as well. Cool, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you the next time we do one of these episodes. Have a great day and happy gold making.